Bitcoin moved above $65,000 exactly as we were expecting, and now I can tell you we are about to melt faces and get the short squeeze that we were waiting for and so much anticipation. And if you want to know what my next steps are and which potentially 2 trades I'm opening live here on this video, then definitely make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these money-making opportunities. And now let me show you what's going on here. I want to start off today here with the CME chart, because yesterday it happened what I expected, that when CME opened, that we basically straight came back down to close that small CME gap that we had. It was a really small one and immediately shot back to the upside. I gave you yesterday that scenario. Go back and have a look. I was speaking about this. And now we are just consolidating a little bit here sideways on the CME chart before we make the next move to the upside. And I want to show you on the higher time frames why we will get a short squeeze to the upside, because there are multiple reasons for that, you know. So, and guys, you know, I like to explain your stuff so that you have a better understanding and can make better decisions in this market, because only then you can profit of this massive bull run that's just in front of us right now. And here on the daily chart, we have a so-called FVG, which is nothing else than an imbalance in this candle here. And imbalances, they always need to get filled to balance out the order book again here on the chart. So what's happening is that we are getting an inefficiency, which is the imbalance, and they happen really fast and accelerated. So here in that example, it's a move to the downside. This can also happen to the upside, as we have seen here. So the imbalance would have been from here to here, from wick to wick, and here in between, that is the imbalance that needs to be balanced out. And here on the move down, we basically did this. So now we have this imbalance here. So the price has to come up. It is as simple as that, you know. So the price has to come up to close that imbalance here. So, and this imbalance starts at $68,000 and goes all the way up to $69,500 approximately. But we will not only stop there. The range that Bitcoin is respecting right now, here on the higher time frames, goes from 60,700 all the way up to the tops that we have here, around $72,800. And a lot of liquidity is sitting at $72,000, as I'm going to show you here just in a brief moment, so stick around. So, and once we are here in this imbalance, I expect that Bitcoin will do something like this here. So first of all, we will most likely do something like this. And then when we are up here, so there are 2 scenarios. Either we go straight up, definitely possible, and squeeze here. But then we also see something like, maybe not. So maybe something like this then here again, potentially even lower, like this. And only then we go back to the upside. Or the other scenario, we come up here, break a little bit out above 70K, get a retrace to like 68,500, and then get a massive move here to the upside, start to go sideways to consolidate, and then finally break this range. So these are the 2 possibilities. So one of these 2 scenarios is going to play out here. When we're moving on to this daily chart, then what we can see here is that the 50 moving average and the, what was it again? Was the 100? Was the 20? The 20. That's what it is. 20 and the 200, sorry, the 20 and the 50, 20 and the 50 guys, 20 and the 50 moving average gave us here technically a death cross, which usually means that we should continue here a downtrend. Now, the mid-range level is a level that Bitcoin needs to hold today. I don't want to see that we are closing today under this mid-range. So I want to see the Bitcoin comes up here to like 66,200 approximately, closes here, and then we can go sideways for a couple of days, I don't mind, before we get to the next leg to the upside. Because you see here that the 20 moving average is here curling around already to signal us that this depth cross here is a potential fake out. So we see this many times when we are getting here a really narrow, how to say that? I would say gap, a narrow gap here between both indicators. When this is really narrow, and especially when the shorter indicator here, so the shorter moving average, in this case the 20, is already turning around and not pointing anymore to the downside, it is usually a sign that we're getting here a fake out on the depth cross and that we're gonna make here another golden cross and price will continue to go to the upside. So here you see clear the resistance area and the support area. As long as we are holding support, everything is fine, and we only need to worry about when we finally get here a move to the upside to take out all these wicks here on these highs that needs to be filled here. Another indication for that to be happening would be if you have a look here on this downward sloping trend line. So you see here also the reason why the Bitcoin price got rejected, not only because of the 20 moving average lining up here with the wick of the candle, but also this downward sloping trend line that we are having here on the daily chart, also giving us resistance. When we're going into the lower time frames, then you know already, so here on the liquidation levels, so much liquidity to be taken out here to the upside because we are now overextended on the 4-hourly time frame. As I told you yesterday, I would not rule out to see a quick flush to the downside just to take out all the over leveraged long positions here. By the way, mine is already closed. I'm going to show it to you in a moment. And to see then from here the move to the upside. So don't neglect that scenario, so there could be again a news-driven event coming out like Iran retaliated on Israel because Israel attacked, or was it the other way around? Israel or Iran attacked each other again, so there was no impact on the market, but if they do something crazy, like getting ready to drop a nuke or something, then of course we're gonna see another move here to the downside, So I don't think that this will be purely TA driven. I think there will be a news event that would drive us all the way down here, so to liquidate everybody, because it is still a 3% move to take all these levels out, So we are not getting right now easily 3% moves to the downside, rather a big move to the upside, So we could also just go sideways here until the indicators cool down and then get that move here to the upside to take out all this liquidity all the way up to $75,000. Now on the liquidation heat map, the concentration is clear, around $72,000. And to grab that liquidity, what we need to see here is Bitcoin basically breaking above $68,600. Once we are breaking that level, we should get a short squeeze into $72,000. And from there, another short squeeze to around $74,000. So that is what I'm banking on. And hence the video title, so because I believe that is what's going to happen next here for Bitcoin. So this can of course take a couple of days. I'm not expecting that tomorrow, but let's say over the course of the next 1 to 2 weeks, this is going to happen. Now, when we're going here into the 1-hourly chart, one thing that I want to point out is that I had told you that if we are breaking here to the upside, that the technical target would be around $66,860. We got really close. We missed it by like $400. And now consolidating in whatever you want to call this, you can make here a case for another bull pennant if you want to do that. So that could be another Bitcoin trade if you want to take it, but it's on the 1-hourly chart and I see here more downside. So we could also see here some fake outs like here before we get that breakout to the upside. So, but if this is a continuation pattern and we get a break, $68,000 approximately would be your technical target. So $67,945 would be your target here to the upside then. Again, right now, it looks like that we potentially get a small fake out and then potentially turn around and going to get this. I know some of you guys will argue, oh, Alex, here, this looks like a flag, you know, or a downwards trending channel. This is not a flag, guys. And let me explain you why. For this to be a flag, the pole here needs to be longer. You know, the flag cannot be longer than the pole. So the pole, in that sense, should go down something like this, or even, yeah, something like this. So that would be appropriate pole for that flag in terms of the length of the flag, you know. So, and we don't have that. So for that reason, this is not a flag. You can argue if that was ever a pennant, but if we would have not gotten here these fake outs, you know, it would have been a pennant where we just at the apex got the breakout. So I'm gonna stick with that. So here again, that is our next potential trade. 69,000, no, 60, what was it? 69,000, no, 67,954, something like this. Yeah, 67,945. So, and that will give us almost a 3% move to the upside. So I'm willing to take that trade again, but only at the breakout. I will not jump the gun beforehand. So here in 5 minutes, this hourly candle is going to close. Then we will get a better idea if we actually get here a move to the downside or just more sideways before we get to break. So something else that I want to point out here on the 4-hourly chart is that Bitcoin is sitting right now above the 200 moving average here. And also here the 50 is coming up to give us another golden cross. But the only thing that's in our way for that right now is an overextended stochastic RSI and a downwards turning RSI. So here also, what you should keep in mind here is that the 50 should act as support here right now. So even if the price comes back down to $64,800, this should hold as support. And from there, we should get a bounce back to the upside. And this will also liquidate most of the long positions that I was talking about on the here on the liquidation levels here. See? So with a wick down to like 63,600 and then coming straight back up above the 50 moving average, at least this area would get liquidated and give us a really short-lived liquidity grab. So that is also something that I'm paying attention right now to, because there are multiple time frames from midterm to long-term time frames right now lining up to give us golden crosses across the charts and timelines that are time horizons, better so to speak, that are telling me that Bitcoin is getting ready to move here higher. Something else that we can have a look at are the funding rates. So what you see here is the funding rates. Okay, now let me actually go here down to like 50. So you see here 50, you know, so this is 50% APR per year, and nothing is overheated. We are completely neutral, you know, so, and that also tells me that the market is completely resetted and has cooled down and is ready for the next leg to the upside here. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade with me together and support the channel, do this on BYBIT. You still get $30,000 in deposit bonus. Otherwise, use Margex. I'm also trading there. It's actually not that bad. And if you cannot use BYBIT because you're in the US or you are in UK, then use BITGET or Phemex. Both are still giving you also nice bonuses. And otherwise, go to FAIRDESK if you just want to copy trade me. There you still get the highest bonus in the industry, $120,000, but only with the links here provided under this video and in the description and in a pinned comment below. So make use of them. Now, when we're looking at some of my trades, I must say they were looking better earlier. So here my fetch trade is still more or less where it was yesterday. My SNX trade was today already positive. Now it's again a little bit underwater. it's like a percent, you know, if SNX moves up 1%, I'm getting plus. So this for me like more or less break even, which is sitting. But here, all my BYBIT trades, they are making a nice amount of cash here right now. So this is $3,000, and earlier on Bitcoin, I had closed my trade for $1,300 here. So that was a 450% profit on this trade that I had given you on this channel here. So everybody had the chance to take this trade. So of course, I'm not recommending you long here with 100x, you know, but if you would have done this with 20x, you would have made 80%, you know, so which would have been awesome, more than enough. 25x, you would have made 100%, 13%, something like that, you know. So you could have made here amazing results with trades that I gave you absolutely for free here on this channel. So just make use of it, you know. So now let's talk about a little bit here the Bitcoin dominance, because the dominance is dropping here finally under 55% again. I still don't believe that this will stay for a long time like this, because when Bitcoin gets the short squeeze, the dominance will also break out again to the upside, and will come back at least to take out here this wick here to this lower high, so to almost 56% on the Bitcoin dominance. That is what I'm expecting, but from there we could turn around and get a move here to the downside, but this is most likely not going to happen before Bitcoin made another attempt of a new all-time high. So I'm here a little bit cautious right now with what the dominance is doing, because we have here again a downward sloping trend line. If that one gets here broken again, that means mostly Bitcoin has another run to the upside. Here on the total market cap, we got exactly what I was hoping for, and that was that we were closing here above that support area of 2.25 to 2.3 trillion dollars. We have something else here in this weekly chart, which is amazing, and that is that we are here potentially forming a morning star pattern. No, sorry, evening star pattern. So that is a reversal pattern, but for this we need to get another $150 billion into the market overall. Doesn't matter if it's into Bitcoin, something else, you know, so but we need to get this to confirm this pattern here over the next 6 days. And then once we have it, I can guarantee you we're going to see that break here in direction of $3 trillion. On Ethereum, I actually took yesterday the Ethereum trade that I was talking about. This is on Binance, that's why I cannot show it. I was like, where is that trade? This is slightly in profit, not a lot, you know, I'm gonna admit it. This is not a lot in profit, but it's in profit. And here also you have here this downward sloping trend line on the 1 hourly chart, basically the same what you see on Bitcoin right now. So this is actually not a really beautiful pennant like this. If we would get a breakout from here, this would bring Ethereum to $3,314. So here are also a lot of things standing in our way. That is here this volume traded area on the VPVR that I'm seeing, ranging from 3,200 to 3,230. So it's okay, it's 1% here on a 1 hourly chart, but still it's in our way and holding us down. So we need to break through that. Most likely this is going to break when Bitcoin makes its move to the upside, and will bring us above $3,262. Once we are back in that range, so here, we did not trade here a lot in that area. So here we should see a quick move back in direction of $3,400, something like this here. Once we are clearing this resistance that's just beneath us. On the higher time frames here on the daily, nothing has really changed. So we got our break out of the falling wedge with a retest here, and then a move to the upside right now exactly under resistance, as I just have told you, you know. So just here on the daily chart, and this is a little bit bigger, goes to $3,350. But once we clear this here on the daily chart, this will go straight here into the golden ratio, and only from there I am going to expect some sort of resistance with some chop, so even a little bit below, and then the next leg to the upside. Because here on the daily chart, everything is lining up for continuation to the upside. The MACD is about to print a green candle today. Then we have our divergence that has not fully played out, our bullish divergence, and the stochastic is also pointing to the upside. So a lot of bullish momentum here on the higher time frames. And sometimes you just need to zoom out and forget about the shorter time frames. Let them do what they want to do. Take low leverage or trade even on spot, and just walk away, and let everything play out as it should, because again, here over the long run, this is going to the upside. I can tell you in 2 weeks, we will be way higher than where we are right now. So the same goes for Solana. And this time I actually brought you the bump and run textbook explanation, and you see here, we have here the lead and phase, and look at this here. So does that not look like the lead and phase? This here. If you compare it over here, this looks exactly the same. So then you have the bump phase also looking exactly the same here. And now we are having the throwback to our trend line that played already out. And now we are in the first phase of the uphill run, and you see here how big this run usually goes, so I expect here at least, like I said yesterday, a run back for Solana into around $200 here over the next coming weeks. Of course not tomorrow, but over the next coming weeks I expect Solana to move here in the direction of $200. And here we got a beautiful retest over the last what was that, basically between yesterday and today. We got here that nice retest, and now we are moving here to the upside. Here we only need to break above $156. Once we are clearing this level, also here is a huge imbalance, like $166. Most likely we are going to, I would not expect a really fast move to close this, and that's also not what we want, so we want a gradual move and not create another imbalance on the way up when we are closing this, So we can get another nice impulse move, most likely from here to like $185, from $170 to $185. That is what I would expect, because trust me, these imbalances or inefficiencies on the chart, these are footprints of market makers. That is basically for them a marker in the chart to remember them, hey, let's get back to this price or these price levels to cash in and to make money. So what they do is they drive the price down until you see a capitulation move like this. And then they know, hey, wherever we buy under this capitulation wick, wherever we buy here, we are going to make money on the move back up when we fill the imbalance that we left behind. So, and this works both ways, So when they now create another imbalance here on the way up, they will come back to it at some point. So, and what they're going to do is they're going to short, So they know the level from where they want to drop the market. So most likely they're gonna start doing this time a little bit above $200, like 210, 240, something like this, and gonna bring it down to some of the imbalances that they left behind. They will just have a look, hey, how far did retail drive this up, and what is now the imbalances that we left behind that we can take out if we start moving the market to the downside. So that is how they make money. Now let's move on. No, actually, if you are not in a Solana trade yet and you missed here, move this retest, even though I pointed it out yesterday, wait for a break above $156 on the 1 hourly chart. When we close a 1 hourly candle above that, that is your next entry where you can trade this to at least, that is a midterm trade, so I would hold this a little longer, to $185. So that is over 20% move, almost 25%. Yeah, okay, it's almost 19% to the upside. Still good enough, guys. Almost 19% move. put like 4-5x leverage on that, you know, so we're talking about 80 to almost 100% that you can make here in, let's say, next 2 weeks, you know. So now let's talk about 2 trades that I want to give you guys. One of them is RNDR, and RNDR is one of the trades that I want to take here live on the here on the show, because this looks to me ready to break to the upside. Not only because the 1 hourly chart, but also where was it? I think the weekly chart was, yeah. So the weekly chart is about to bottom out here this week. So I expect here at least a move. That, also here an imbalance again around $10.30. Actually not. No, there's no imbalance. Let me have a look here. So sad. They did not leave imbalances on the way down here behind. But this is okay. Sometimes it happens. But we have here a downward sloping trend line that just got broken. So yeah, so this is definitely the trade that I'm going to take live here. So I made $1,300 on this trade. I was in this trade with $400, so I can make a trade of about $1,800 on RNDR. But I'm not gonna over leverage myself here. So just that you know. So I'm going to use here, let's start small. I can still buy later a little bit more. So here my target is $10.55. Oh, now we retraced a little bit. So yeah, but I expect that we break here to the upside. So let me explain you why. So here, I just made the trade. 37 cents is my liquidation price, so pretty low. I could actually add another $600 here. So it's like 650. I want here 610 or something. 610, 620. 620 is fine. Yeah, so that's fine. So now my take, yeah, so I will make $2,300 on this trade. So now let me explain you a little bit more in detail why I'm taking this trade. First of all, the resistance above us is pretty clear. So we have here the golden ratio from $10.67 or $10.68 to $10.96. And we have also the resistance going up to like $11.14 with this prior support area where we created the high for RNDR. So now we have broken this downward sloping trend line on the daily chart, which is really, really bullish. I wished I would have seen this yesterday, then I would have entered yesterday already here. Again, basically on the retest. So I missed that. I missed 4%, almost 5% of a move already. But I have still confidence in the ability of RNDR to move here to $10.55. So and this comes from the 4-hourly chart. Let me show you. The reason for this is that we have another resistance. See here, there is also just here in this area, there was prior a lot of support, which will also act as resistance now, and also another level beneath us. So there are a lot of levels. So basically where we are in right now, that is also prior support level, hence why we get rejected here for the time being, you know. So, but I believe that we are going to break this over the next couple of days, maybe give it 2 days, maybe 2 to 3 days, where we are breaking this. And once we are breaking this, we are going straight up here into the next resistance, because there's not a lot of prior price action stopping us, you know, to go up here. So even here's no imbalance. This is crazy. Okay, here's a small imbalance, but not a big one. It's like to 975. Then this would be close. So, but this could be the impulsive move that brings us above that resistance level, retest, move to the upside. So expect something like this. So another coin that I'm looking at is TON from Telegram. So I gave you that trade, I think 2 days ago already. So I'm still waiting here a little bit to pull the trigger, but I'm getting ready because we are about to bottom out on the 4-hourly chart. We are below that prior support area that we had. So I consider this here just fake out, you know, grind out people and chop them up, because here on the daily chart, we are massively overextended and oversold. So this is going to move here really, really quickly to the upside once we are getting this move, you know. So also here we have a downward sloping trend line. So if you draw it like this, you're gonna miss a lot of the initial move. So you miss out here on almost, it's like 6.5% that you're missing out here by entering now, but it would be also more risky, you know, I'm gonna tell you. So I'm not entering this here unless here on the 1 hourly chart, I get some signs that will tell me that it's a good moment to enter, you know. So, and for this, I wanna see 2 lighter red candles on the MACD, an upward sloping RSI, and what the stochastic does not really interest me because it's already here in oversold conditions. So what I want to see is that the MACD is turning around and that the RSI is turning around, and the RSI is already going sideways. So there is a high likely chance that this will soon bottom out here, maybe with a quick move to the downside, you know, to like $5.98 or something like this, and then actually turns around and goes up. So also here, I'm getting ready with my money to get into this and to trade this to all the way up to like $8.40-ish, something like this here on the higher time frames. $8.44. Yeah, that's what it is. And that is basically what I'm doing right now. You know, you saw I made a new trade. All the other trades are nice and in profit as it should be. Just made a new one. Let's check in on that tomorrow again. And otherwise, I hope that you make a lot of money here with me together. And don't forget, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you see you then again tomorrow.